Children, so in the previous class we have learned about the different divisions by which the earth is classified based on the different climatic conditions. What are the different factors that can influence the climate of the region? Okay, so all these kinds of things we have discussed in the previous class, and now onwards we are to deal with the different countries from these different kinds of climatic regions, right? So in the journey, we will start very close or around the equator, right? So from equator, we have the same kind of climatic conditions as we go towards the northern pole, and the same kind of climatic condition as we go to the southern pole also, isn't it? Yes. So we will be dealing with the different countries which are located at different places, right? So we know that latitudes or the parallels, we call them, are the factors, right, which make the or based on which we have these different kinds of climatic analysis that we do, isn't it? Yes. So we know that this is the equator, and this is the Tropic of Cancer, and this is the Tropic of Capricorn, right? So, in between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, it's very hot and humid conditions can be seen there, right? So, the climatic conditions that we see or experience usually in between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer and equator and the Tropic of Capricorn. In short, from the Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn. Right? From Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn is called tropical climate. Right? The speciality is it's hot, at the same time it's wet. It's very hot and it's very wet. The speciality of this region is that this is the equatorial region and the sun rays fall straight on the equator, isn't it? So, morning to afternoon, this region experiences extreme hot conditions, and from afternoon till the evening, it rains very heavy in this region. Okay? So, from morning to afternoon, half of a day, it's very hot and humid conditions over there, and from afternoon, it starts to rain heavily with huge thunderstorms. You know thunderstorms, huh? Yes. So, this region actually experiences very hot and very wet climatic conditions. Enough amount of sunlight and a very good amount of water actually helps, yes, very thick, dense forest regions are also found in this region. Okay? So this region in between this equator has wet, hot climatic conditions which actually supports thick, dense growth of forests. And the forest that we can find in this region is actually known as a tropical forest or a equatorial forest. Okay, so the thick, dense forests that grow along the equator is known as a equatorial forest or a tropical forest. The specialities, they are very big, they are very dense and thick growing forests. Right? Now, which are the regions where we can find this equatorial forest or a temperate forest or a tropical forest? Which are the regions where we can find a tropical forest? In South America. South America is a continent which has a equator passing through the northern part of it, isn't it? Yes. So in this region, we have a very thick, dense forest that is known as the Amazon forest. Right? The Amazon forest, which is almost, there are regions in this Amazon forest where we have not yet reached. Means the humans from the outer world has not yet reached some dense part of the Amazon river. Okay, so they are in the northern part of South America, right? here we have the Amazon forest region. Now, here, Central Africa. Okay, Central Africa. Here we have Congo Basin. So here there is a river called Amazon. A river basically called the Amazon. And what is basin region? Basin means what? Yeah, the region that is made wet by the river and its tributaries. Okay, so this region is totally drained by this Amazon river, and on this basin there grows this thick forest which we call the Amazon forest. Okay, now here in the Central Africa also we have such kind of a thick dense forest region along the river Congo. There is a river called the Congo, and on the basin of this Congo river, we have a very thick forest which is known as the Congo Basin. And here we can see some islands are here. Yeah, the Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand region is actually lying in the equatorial region, and here also we can find the thick, dense forest regions. So the equatorial or tropical forest regions are basically found in the regions of Amazon Basin in the northern part of South America, the Congo Basin in the Central American area, Central African area, and the South Asian island groups. Right? Okay, they are so thick. The trees are very tall. The trees grow very tall, and they will have thick canopy. Thick canopy means even sunlight cannot penetrate through that and reach the ground. Okay, we cannot just see the ground over there. Such thick forests are known as the tropical forest region. So now we are going to learn about a country that actually lies in this region. Right? We are now going to learn about a country which is actually lying in this region, and we are actually now going not for this South American part or not for this Southeast Asian part, but we are going to learn a country in this African continent, the dark continent. Okay, so here we have one country, and that country is called DRC, means Democratic Republic of Congo. What is the name of the country? Democratic Republic of Congo. So that is actually located in the African continent, right? Yes. This is the African continent we can see over here, and this red marked country is what we call the Democratic Republic of Congo, right? It's a Central American country, Central African country. It's a Central African country, and the equator actually passes through this region, right? We can see this is the Congo. Yes, this is a Democratic Republic of Congo, and here we can see the equator passing through the Democratic Republic of Congo. So that country actually lies on the equator, right? Yes, Democratic Republic of Congo. Here we can see, can you see this river? Yes, this is the river which actually has a very great basin around this region, right? So Congo is basically a Central African country. It is the second largest country in Africa. DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay, so DRC or Democratic Republic of Congo, we will simply call it a DRC, right? So DRC is a Central African country, and it is the second largest country in the continent of Africa. This is totally on the tropical zone because the equator passes through the northern part of the country, right? And what are the boundaries of this country? So we have, yes, this is a country. This is actually known as a Congo. This country is actually, yes, this is a country called Congo, and that Congo lies on the west of DRC. Congo lies on the west of DRC. Central African Republic and another country called Sudan. Central African Republic and Sudan are the north of DRC. We have Uganda. Then here is a small country called Rwanda. Then below that there is another one called Burundi, and another one is Tanzania. This big country is called Tanzania. Right? So we have Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and Tanzania on the eastern side of this country. Zambia and Angola are on the south. Okay? So we have Congo on the west, Central African Republic and Sudan on the north, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and Tanzania on the east, Zambia and Angola on the south. And this country has a very small border with this ocean also. What is the name of the ocean that lies on the west of Africa? The ocean that lies on the west of Africa is the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so the kingdom of the Democratic Republic of Congo has a very small boundary with the ocean also. That is also on the west, and it boundaries there with the Atlantic Ocean. Right? So that is about the political divisions or the borders and the boundaries of African Republic of Sudan. Democratic Republic of Congo. Right? So earlier, this was actually a Belgian colony. Right? So we know India was a colony of British, isn't it? So just like that, DRC Congo was a Belgian colony. There is another European country by the name Belgium. Okay, so they conquered and ruled Congo until 1960. We got in 1947 and still 13 years more. Okay, so DRC was a Belgian colony. Then it was, at that time, it was known as the Belgian Congo. We had East India Company, we were known as East India. So, at that time, when DRC was ruled by the Belgian government, then it was known as a Belgian Congo. So, in 1960, they got freedom from the Belgium, and then it was known as Zaire. Then the country was known as Zaire, and in 1997, they changed the name of the country as the Democratic Republic of Congo. Even now, we call it either by the name DRC or by the name Zaire. Okay, we know there is a big river that is actually forming the base structure for everything. That is what is happening over there, and that river is actually known as the River Congo, and the same river is also known as the River Zaire. Okay, so somehow let us call it either Democratic Republic of Congo or Zaire. It doesn't matter much because the name of the river itself is either Congo or Zaire. Right? Now we will check a bit deep about this river. Right?